Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your 2025 Flagstaff Microlite 21 FBRS travel trailer. Big cool unit here. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a couple of things to think about when you're parking this. On your campsite, you're going to want to leave plenty of room for that awning to come out. On your off campsite, your slide is kind of short, but besides leaving room for your slide, I also want you to think about where your power and water is going to be. They're going to be both behind the slide on your off campsite toward the rear of the unit. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive and unhook our hitch, first thing we do is level our unit. The unit comes with a power tongue jack. Night docking light should you arrive at night. Simply lower or raise the unit until you're level. Now, should you lose power, under this rubber stopper right here will fit. It's held in there on a magnet. This hand crank will fit down onto a bolt that's in there, and that will get this up and down without power. So speaking of power, check your battery posts every now and then. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. Your unit comes with power stabilizing jacks. I am going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris, keep them from sinking into the hot black top in the summer. Good investment. Pick up a 4-pack of those with your 10% off coupon. Put them down and hit extend. Now as these come down, I want to note to you that this foot should stay nice and flexible. Run these down just until they're taut. Remember, our unit's already level. We just want it until it feels like it's going to start lifting the unit. Run them down the front. Same thing here in the rear. Once we get our unit level, stable, we can hook up our power and water. So you got a big, long 30-amp cord plugs in here on the rear. In your convenience pack will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer in case you need to plug into a 110. Now I want to show you here where this plug goes in. Goes in at say about 11 o'clock. Turn it to noon and then put your black washer on. That blue light means you got power. Get your power, let's hook up your water. Docking station is just above this. At campsites, you're going to hook up to city water connection. Grab your water pressure regulator. When it comes to your convenience pack, we'll reduce it to 40 to 50 psi because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Hook that up over here. Hook up your hose. If you don't turn your hose on yet, let's find your hot water heater. Yours is located right over here. And all we're doing at this point, folks, make sure your drain plug's back in there. You may have taken that out last time you were camping, getting all the stagnant water out of your hot water heater. If so, go ahead and throw some plumber's tape around that, not putty. Putty will gum up on you. Plumber's tape, get that in there nice and snug. Maybe that's 1 1/8 inch. Once you got that in there tight, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now, if that hose been on, go inside, open up this slide, turn on your sinks and showers. Get all the air out of the lines, get a nice steady flow of water going through them. Shut them off, and you are all set to camp. Now let's say we're going to go dry camping. Well, in that case, next to your hot water is your potable water. Freshwater tanks right here is where we'll fill that up at. No need for a water pressure regulator. You can gravity fill this with a hose. 2 ways to tell it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or on the inside, where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks, there's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on this where you're filling it. Do not leave it unattended. Once it's full, put this cap back on. And then whenever you want to utilize that water, you turn on your water pump indoors. Don't turn on your water pump and hook to the city water. That's already pressurized. Alright, we're all ready to set to camp. We got our power and water. I'm going to go ahead and walk you around the rest of the unit. Continuing here on the off camp side. Little light for docking lights. Up front. Pass through storage here. Here's your access panel to your water pump. That is a square screw down in here to access that. Again, your fresh water, hot water heater. Usually where your fresh water is closely is your freshwater drain. Come down, we have your slide open here shortly. There's some storage in there. Alright, in this little docking station here, here's where you put your cable, satellite if you hook a satellite up, your city water, your tank flush. We'll talk about that when we dump our black tanks. And here's where you'll siphon in your antifreeze. Power, black and gray tanks. I'll go over those when we act like we're leaving the campsite. And on the back here is a hot cold shower spray port area. You got a cover for your spare tire. I recommend keeping that on there. It keeps it from getting dry rotted. You got a ladder. Utilize it. Go up there several times a year. Check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. You also are prepped for a backup camera. Device you can purchase from our store that will attach to that. And piece will set on your dash. And the other piece will sit back here, and that'll give you a backup camera for the unit. Coming around to our campsite, again our extension for our legs. That's a vent for your hood range indoors. A couple of outdoor speakers. If you hook up the cable at the campsite, you can plug in cable and 110 here. Hook the TV on here. This TV mount lifts right up off here. You can remove that for travel. Flue for your furnace, few things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. Two, if you are running your furnace, you're clear, but it does get hot. We also sell bug guards for those. Good investment as well. Down here's your low point drains. They're going to be up underneath here, right there. We'll dump those when leaving the campsite. Here's your quick connect LP, because up here, a table will set up. That's underneath here to one side. There are legs for this griddle. That's the top for it. There's what's all set on here. Give you a griddle outside here. There's your quick connect spray port hose. There's a water filter you can hook up. Stabilizing jacks. Here's where you can plug in your solar panel. That'll trickle charge your batteries. Up front, your propane is on a regulator. Just point it toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty loosey to open. No gas in this yet, but red means no gas, green means you've got gas. You can put this in the middle for automatic switchover. I personally like to do one at a time. I mean, if I run out in the middle of the night, I should have known a couple of days ahead of time to switch them over. So keep an eye on them. About covers everything out here. We'll take a look on the inside. Hey, before going in there, I did forget to mention your battery disconnect. That would disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detector. Alright, so coming up beside the unit, I want to mention on these steps, bringing them down or bringing them up. I want to make sure this exterior door is all the way open. Otherwise that will catch on here. First thing I like to point out in the unit is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway. Coming into my right up top is going to be my control panel. So here's where you see the levels of your fresh, black, and gray tanks. That's the one I said to keep an eye on when you're filling your fresh water. Battery, awning, step, interior, and bedroom lighting. Here's where you can connect to Bluetooth. So you can do a lot of this from your phone. Here's where you turn on your water heater if hooked to gas, your water heater if hooked to electric. It does make a difference to choose correctly. Over here is where you turn on your water pump for your fresh water. And that is the tank heater. If you think you're going to be in inclement weather and your tanks may freeze, turn that on. It's a little 12-volt pad on your tanks to help them keep from freezing. On your awning, let me hit extend. So you're only going to want to run these awnings out until a flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see your brown bar underneath. If you hold that button down, the extend button, this will continue running like that, flip up onto itself as far as you want to go. But it will flip up onto itself and start to run itself up backwards onto itself. So keep an eye on it when you're running out. Don't run it out further than you need to. The awning does have a pitch adjust. You can pitch that down if it's raining. have that rainwater run to the side. I say maybe for a light rain, I just recommend in most rains that you bring your awning in. Rains usually bring high winds. High winds are an enemy to awnings. So they're great for shade, light sprinkles in the mornings, but I just recommend bringing them in when storms are coming. Save yourself the hassle. As that comes in, I'll shut off that awning light. And tell you that these doors work best when gently slammed. Alright, above my control panel, here's our slide. Let's finish here. Turn our slide out. Close our bedroom door and hit out. And as that runs out, you see that it's pretty short. Alright, above this is going to be your solar controller panel. The whole purpose of this is to keep your solar panel from overcharging your batteries. The only thing you need to do is make sure that you keep it on a flooded battery. I'll send you a separate video from GoPower on that. Real simple to control. Over here on the fridge, I got to tell you about the new dual open fridge. Whichever side you pull to open, there's a hinge up there. I can also pull from this side. The hinge is over here. Most importantly, folks, you want to make sure that you close in the side that you open. Otherwise, when next time you go to pull that off, the whole door is going to fall off. So just make sure you try to use it from the same side always. That's the easiest way. Down here, we've got a breaker box and fuses, ton of 15s, a 20, and a 40. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. And there's your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. Reason I mentioned that's 12-volt set's always running off your batteries. That little battery disconnect that I showed you up underneath the propane, if you're out dry camping and you're going to be gone for the day, if you're not getting a lot of power from your solar control panels, it's real dark and shady, I recommend using that battery disconnect to keep this from bringing your batteries down. Come right into our bathroom here. I mentioned the 110 with GFCI reset. And also mentioned plumbing. Again, squared holes, screws will get this access panel out of the way. Just keep an eye on your plumbing. If you do travel a lot in this and you bounce in this house up and down the road, things could wiggle loose. Want to make sure that you have these shower doors snapped closed for travel. Light. Power exhaust fan up here. 4 different settings. You hand crank it to open. Into the living room. Let's go right to your thermostat. Push that in for mode. Turn it to cool. Fans on high. That should crank your air up. Your air also has quick dumps on the end. Secret when you get to the campsite that's smoking hot in here, open these up. Now I'm going to go back to mode. And I'm going to shut that, go right to off. Try it. Off. You'll notice that your AC will shut off rather quickly. Generally. Now I'm going to turn on your furnace. And let the heat. Heat set to 99. There's your return for your heat. Now what you will notice is when I shut your heat off, it literally will take a couple minutes for that fan to cycle through before it shuts off. So there's your thermostat, 110 here. We can remove this table. Everything on this table is done by these clamps right here. Lefty loosey to loosen them up. And we can remove this table. Remove the arm. Or come to the bottom and loosen it. And remove this whole arm. Gives us access to jackknife. It's down into sleeping quarters. Back up. So we're going to easier to see all this lighting on. Cup holders here. Kind of emergency escape window. You can grab this and yank that screen out of there if you need to. Here's your emergency escape window, the one in red. You can get out of this by yanking this out and pushing this out. There's some bedroom lighting here. You can shut off from the bed. Charging ports next to that. Table can go back. You do have a little bit of storage up underneath here, as well as in your drawers. The television, the only thing I recommend on that is that when you get to the campsite, go through and run a digital channel scan so that you can pick up all the local channels. Read the manual on this because it is a smart TV. You'll get your stereo, Prime Video, Netflix, all that on this type of TV. So extension again. Plumbing. Go through here. You do have a TST system in here. It's a tire pressure monitoring system. I will send you a video from TST on this new 770 series. Very important. Remotes in here. Self-explanatory microwave, light, fan. This glass top makes a nice backsplash. You would just turn on your panel light here, hit that to high, and push it in. You got gas on, that's how all three of those light. Same thing on the oven. Turn it to the flame, press it in to spark it, and then turn it to your desired temperature. Rock that panel light down, and it becomes an oven light. Make sure you have this glass down for traveling. Up the ceiling here is your smoke alarm. And that about covers everything in here. Little hand crank vent there. Let's go ahead and act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. I like to start by shutting off all my lights. Now I know any other lights that are on are individual accent lights that I need to walk through and shut off. Now I'll come back to my control panel, turn on my interior lights, and say doors and drawers. Walk through your unit, make sure all doors and drawers are closed. We will secure that table. Make sure nothing's going to impede our slide from coming in. Just hit slide in. Shut off our interior lights and exit the unit. Again, like I was saying on these steps, make sure this door is all the way open. See how close this will come to that. So your feet are also adjustable. Simply press in on this, and that'll release that. Lock this in here, and keep that from banging against your screen. Remember, your doors are open and closed there. Now, before you leave the dump station, lock, deadbolt, lift, and turn this handle. That's how you want that handle for traveling. If we are camping, dry camping, we're going to bring up our stabilizing jacks. Come over and open up that freshwater drain. Hook up our hitch and head on home or to the nearest dump station, whatever we're in need of. If we're at a campsite, bring up our stabilizing jacks, unhook our power, our water, our cable, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. Now at the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is going to be all the way at the rear of the unit, behind your tires. That 10-foot hose comes with your convenience pack. Hook that up, and the first thing you'll pull is this black handle. That's going to be your sewage. When it sounds like it's no longer draining, go inside, check the level of your black tank. That's why I said don't put that handle over your door yet, because you got to go in there when we're checking our tanks. If it shows empty or darn close to it, come back out here, leave that black handle open, grab the hose at the dump station, and hook it up to this tank flush. Hook it up there, again emphasizing leaving that black handle open, turn that hose on, let it run for a good 5 minutes. Going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, remove this hose, make sure all that washout water you just put in there has drained, then close your black and pull your gray handle. Now that's going to be cleaner water. It's your sinks and your showers. That's going to be cleaning your sewage hose out. If you're not going to be camping for a while, you don't want to leave water in your hot water heater, come inside here, lift up on this pressure release valve. Now be careful, a little bit of hot water is going to come out of there. When that's done, push that back down, and then you can pull your drain plug for your residual waters. Go around to the other side. Dump those low point drains. I actually like to dump those low point drains before you're doing your hot water. Less hot water will come out of there. When that gray is done, close it up and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper and head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Microlite for many years to come. Happy camping.